thing I'm noticing, Dr. Hisham, is everyone's talking about how bad sugar is. Does sugar really rot the teeth?
Excellent question. And the answer is sugar itself does not dissolve teeth. Sounds a bit funny, but just listen to the science in it. If you put a tooth in sugar water, it will never dissolve. If you don't put it in anything, it will never dissolve at all, it'll just stay forever. If you put anything that can ferment that sugar, like bacteria that ferment sugar, or yeast, like we make wine or alcohol or whatever, the fermentation of the sugar produces acid. Now that acidic liquid is what dissolves water. So that's exactly what happens in our mouths. Sugar is processed, is digested by bacteria, by certain bad bacteria. These are the bad guys which we don't want in our mouths. They process it, digest it to make acids that then dissolve away the mineral and rot the teeth. So sugar is the main contributing factor to those bacteria growing because it feeds them and it makes them very sticky. Sugar is very sticky in all its forms. It's a very sticky substance. So it sticks those bacteria and feeds them so they grow in number and they outgrow the good guys who don't use sugar to survive, and neither do our cells directly actually. And that's how it creates an imbalance. So it does cause tooth decay, but by promoting and feeding and sticking the bad bacteria to our teeth, it literally coats the teeth, and that's the problem.
Okay, so how does this bacteria stick to our teeth?
Bacteria stick to teeth by making a what's called a polysaccharide layer. I don't know how to make it simpler than that, but basically they have these little chemicals that they produce to glue themselves to each other and to the surfaces that they want to adhere to. So if that surface is already sticky, they will stick more. And if they get more of the food that they love, just like any other living organism, you give it the right environment, you give it the right food for it, and it grows and attracts more of its kind. At the same time pushing away the other kind. And in this scenario here, we're talking about the bad guys, remember that. So if they can't stick, they can't make you sick. So sugar makes things sticky, that's a bad thing. If you're going to use dental care products, they should be not just containing minerals or specific sort of fancy ingredients. What the core thing should be is that they should unstick the bacteria. They should replace the stickability of bacteria with something that will make them unadhere so that they fall off. It should replace their need for sugar, so something like xylitol, which goes into the bacteria. They think it's sugar, they can't process it, they can't make acid out of it, they die out. While the good bacteria that we love and protect us now start to grow to fill in that space because there's no sugar and there's no sticky gunk around there. So that's what the Ozol Spa was made to do, to overcome that sugar problem. That's not to say you can eat as much sugar as you want and just use a product that will help you. That's totally not true. You've got to cut down on the attack. You've got to cut down on the intake of bad stuff. And when you do, sometimes balance back. So cut the acid and balance back. Cut the sugar and balance back when you do. Because we do live in a world where if you did go back historically, when people never brushed their teeth and didn't need to either because they ate fresh vegetables and fish and sometimes fruits, because fruits were not available all the time, they didn't need to brush their teeth. Now if you go back to living like that, which most of us can't, and I won't do that either, that's okay. But as long as we live in today's world, we should moderate down on the sugars that we consume, on the bad things that we eat, but they will always be using something that is not 100% okay. Therefore, we need to learn how to balance back. So we need good, healthy products that save us from the bad stuff happening to us.
Okay. And are all types of sugar bad?
Sugar is a very broad term, and there's many sugars that people think that are good for them. So like honey or agave or whatever the fancy words are today, they're all exactly the same. They all do exactly the same thing. They're all fermentable. Fruit sugars in fruit juice or in actual fruit itself directly, it's fermentable. You can make an alcoholic drink out of these things. Therefore, those bacteria can ferment them. Now, that doesn't happen just in the mouth, so all sugars can cause this, not just in the mouth, but in the guts and inside our bodies. They increase acidity, they produce a lot of problems, they oppress your immune system. So, yeah, all sugars should be cut down in general, and when you replace them, you don't replace them with something that is toxic, like aspartame and saccharin and all those weird chemicals, artificial sweeteners. Replace them with natural sweeteners that don't behave like sugar, but taste sweet. So like stevia or xylitol. Xylitol actually has a very good effect on teeth, mouths, guts, and the flora, the bacteria, the biofilm that's built up inside of us. I was talking to Damon from that Sugar movie, which is an amazing movie, and I met him in person, and we had a good discussion about all this. And in the US, they have a disease that dentists call, just like we have meth mouth and cocaine mouth, they now have Mountain Dew mouth, which was shown in the movie as well. Now, the problem with that kid, and there's many like him, and sadly it is a sad reality of today, it's not just the sugar. Actually, it's not the sugar directly that's in the drink, it's the acid in the drink, fueled further by the sugar. The acid itself dissolves teeth. It just makes them go mushy. Fed by the sugar that's in that thing as well, the bacteria that are there, the bad guys, they go, wow, we love it. Ready-made acid and sugar so we can make our own, they go to town. And that's when people's teeth rot, they get abscesses, they can die from it, and in the meantime, you're messing up your whole body. So it's not one disease or the other, it's everything meshed up together.
So is this stuff acidic?
It is alkaline.
Oh, it's alkaline.
Let me show you that in the next video, because I made some videos that I would love everybody to see, and where we discuss biofilm, where we discuss acid and alkaline and all that, and I'll show you that in a second as well. Just very quickly here, how alkaline stuff should look like that you should consume every day.
Fantastic.